John Wick is an American role-playing game designer best known for his creative contributions to the Alderac Entertainment Group properties Legend of the Five Rings and Seventh Sea. He self-published Orkworld under the Wicked Press banner, and later co-founded the Wicked Dead Brewing Company with Jared Sorensen. His games under that company include Cat, Shower Mission, Enemy Gods, and 30. He has won the Origins Award for Best Role-Playing Game and Best Collectible Card Game twice. He has also written for White Wolf, Inc., Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and worked for various video game companies, providing storyline and dialogue. He has written 2 regular online columns, The Game Designer's Journal and Play Dirty, Legend of the Five Rings. In 1995, Wick was a freelance writer living in Southern California. He had submitted articles to Shaders magazine, Alderac Entertainment Group's independent game magazine, attracting the attention of the magazine's assistant editor, DJ Trindle. He was brought on as a staff writer at DJ's request. Soon after joining AEG, he got involved with the production and design of the Legend of the Five Rings collectible card game. Along with the rest of the company, he worked with Matthew D. Wilson, the game's art director, and David Williams, the game's lead designer. He served as continuity editor, which meant that he was responsible for the game's characters and plot details. Wick served as L5R's continuity editor for the Emerald Edition, Obsidian Edition, and Jade Edition sets, including the Shadowlands, Forbidden Knowledge, Anvil of Despair, Crimson and Jade, and Time of the Void expansions. He was also the primary source for storyline, flavor text and character for the Scorpion Coup set. Wick also led the RPG design team that created the Legend of the Five Rings role-playing game. Wick left the L5R design team shortly thereafter to work on AEG's forthcoming Seventh Sea project. Seventh Sea was the second RPG published by AEG, co-designed by John and Jennifer Wick and Kevin Wilson. Seventh Sea is AEG's swashbuckling setting. Initially proposed by Wick and his wife Jennifer, the game was intended to be self-contained, but quickly evolved into a much larger project, telling the story of the world of The Acute a fantasy amalgam of Restoration Age Europe. Seventh Sea included pirates, musketeers, explorers and magic. Wick wrote and developed much of the project, including the Seventh Sea Player's Guide, Game Master's Guide, Avalon Sourcebook, GM Screen, and Knights of the Rose and Cross Sourcebook. He left AEG after his work on the Avalon Sourcebook was finished. On November 3, 2015, AEG announced that it had sold the rights to the Seventh Sea property back to Wick, and entered a partnership with him to publish certain licensed games using the property. Orkworld. After leaving AEG, he acquired a position at Totally Games, helping develop an Xbox launch title. He also wrote, designed and developed Orkworld, a reverse fantasy game where orcs are the heroes and the monsters are humans, dwarves, and elves. The game was released the same year as Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Edition, and garnered an Origins Award nomination for Best Game Fiction. The game was illustrated by Thomas Denmark. Neopets. After spending time in San Francisco, he returned to Los Angeles and began working at Neopets, writing stories for the Neopedia. He also helped develop the Neopets CCG. Upper Deck. Wick was also a major contributor to the award-winning Versus system CCG published by the Upper Deck Company, the Wicked Dead Brewing Company. Wick began a new publishing venture with his friend Jared Sorensen, calling the joint venture the Wicked Dead Brewing Company. They began in 2004 and have published over a dozen role-playing games, board games, and books. He self-published a novel titled No Loyal Knight through the Wicked Dead Brewing Company. Wick published a number of dice pool-based indie fantasy games, including Enemy Gods and Cat. John Wick Presents. Wick started a new company, John Wick Presents, in 2009 when he kicked off his partnership with Cubicle 7 by reissuing his 2008 RPG Houses of the Blooded. He also released Curse of the Yellow Sign and Blood and Honor through this company, Houses of the Blooded. In 2007, Wick announced a return to big game design in his live journal. The game, called Houses of the Blooded, was released at the 2008 Origins Game Fair. The game focuses on the Ven and the world of Shanri. The pre-order for the limited edition version of Houses of the Blooded sold out in exactly 1 week. There were 100 copies available on the Indie Press Revolution website on May 5, 2008, and they were all gone by May 12. Wick was apparently surprised by this turn of events. Wick released a soundtrack with the new game focusing on Ven blood opera, an in-game element. Songs from the opera can be heard on the Houses of the Blooded website. Wick is keeping an open log of his design of this game in his live journal. He has stated his intention to release several standalone supplements that will detail various aspects of the world of Shanri. Each book would allow players to play a different role in Shanri and, as he stated in his live journal, almost feel as if they're playing a different game of the books mentioned so far of Slumming book where players play Ven nobles from cities, a wilderness book where vassals of the Ven nobles fight off orc, explore dungeons, and possibly kill dragons, as well as a Swaven book where details regarding the ancestor worship religion of the Ven will be revealed. Wick teamed up with British games publisher Cubicle 7 Entertainment for a mass-market release of the game in September 2009. Freemasonry. In November 2005, Wick became a Freemason, joining Liberal Arts Lodge of Los Angeles, California. He is a Master Mason. The Awful Lot. Wick was a founding member and the drummer for the band The Awful Lot. Awards.